Uh, well, the campaign has been a bitter and a grueling campaign, extremely personalized, and it is a pretty polarized electorate, as we can see. But given the system that prevails in the United States, which is electoral college system, uh, in the end, the race doesn't look as close as the polls had shown. But we must remember that not only has he won the electoral college, he's also won the popular vote. So I think that sets a lot of things at rest as far as Donald Trump is concerned, and he will obviously go into the White House convinced that the United States has backed him. He's already called it a historical moment, an unprecedented political return. So now we will have to see what the impact of another Trump presidency will be. As regards foreign policy, I think we have seen Trump's pronouncements on foreign policy earlier. We've seen 4 years of his presidency. He was pretty tough on China in his first tenure. Let us see if that is maintained. We must remember that it was during the Trump presidency that China was actually recognized as the major strategic competitor for the United States. With Russia, everybody expects that he will have a better relationship with President Putin. In the past, he has had a good relationship with him. He, of course, has said that he will end the war in Ukraine with a phone call. So let's see how that may be easier said than done. In the Middle East, we can only hope that things can get better. They possibly can't get any worse. They've been, particularly in terms of loss of civilian life and disregard of international humanitarian law. So let's see how that goes.
Prime Minister Modi is among the first few leaders. We have seen the bonhomie between the two leaders. Will that also transpire for better relationship between the two countries? Because we have seen a series of hiccups in the past as well. But what would be your expectation, if I may ask?
Well, I think there are two different aspects. One is the personal chemistry, and that is pretty good. They have met several times during Trump presidency. They have interacted often enough, both in bilateral situations as well as in large gatherings like the political rallies, the Howdy Modi and other rallies. And therefore, I think it will be much easier than the first term when they were just getting to know each other. As far as the relationship is concerned, of course, personal chemistry between the leaders plays a major impact, but there is also a kind of structural framework of the relationship which should keep it going. How different it will be as from what it was during the Biden presidency, I think there will be changes of stress, changes of nuance. There'll be certain things particularly if I was to pick a couple of issues, I think trade, immigration. These would be issues in which we could have problems. I think we would have a better understanding on strategic security, defense, related issues and India's position in the world. I must say that President Trump has a very positive view of India as a whole. You will see certain remarks that India is a tariff king and India abuses the tariff system. All that we will have to take in our stride. But I don't think there will be any major upsets if we can ride with the occasional blow, the occasional unpredictability, and I'm sure we can. Then I don't really see any major blows to the bilateral relationship.
Because one aspect of the bilateral relationship is, of course, the defense cooperation. Do you think it will also get strengthened? Because President Trump has been talking about let's make America great again. We have Make in India as well. In that scenario, do you think, sir, we'll have the strengthening of the relationship?
Well, the fact is that the defense relationship really progressed during his first tenure. We were already a major defense partner, but then we signed several foundational agreements during his presidency. We also achieved the STA-1 status of easier access to dual-use technologies, and I'm sure that we can make MAGA happen along with Made in India. There are certain things which are said at elections. It doesn't mean that nothing will be made abroad or there will be no joint cooperation. So I think it all depends upon how we handle it, and I'm sure that there are enough opportunities, particularly if the US-China relations remain as they are, then India has the option of using the China plus one paradigm to its advantage.
This brings me to the last question. During his campaign in Bangladesh, he spoke about that as well. And one more tipping point, sir, about the action on the Palestinian elements. Do you feel that the Trump administration will be able to act on it, sir? What's your take?
Well, it has just gotten. Let's see how the details develop. Who are the people who will become the secretaries? I think overall you will find a broad sympathy towards India's security interests, to India's sovereignty and India's national interests, because ultimately they feed into the bilateral relationship.